God, I can't believe I'm gonna answer this question. But so today I'm gonna be doing a question and answer. Oh, you guys can't see me? Oh, it's the packaging. Sorry, the packaging that this comes in is just glued to my hand, so I just can't. I'm gonna have to hold it like this the whole time. There's nothing else I can do. But yeah, so question number one is no. Okay, we're gonna put it away in the distance so you can't see it. Right there. Yeah, right. That's good. Okay, right there. That's good. Yeah, no one's gonna notice. So if you guys don't know me, my name is Zach. I'm a third year now medical student living in the wonderful city of Philadelphia, and I figured I hit 100K subscribers and I really wanted to do like a question and answer session, but I just never got around to it. So this is that question and answer session. Okay, so a few background questions. They want to know where I go to med school, where I went to college, where I grew up, how old am I. I'm the first person of my family to be born in America. The entirety of rest of my family was born in the UK.
We'd all be sitting here drinking Chateau de Chasselet, eh?
And my dad moved here with my mom around 30 years ago, so I was the first person to be born in America. I'm 26 years old. I turned 27 in July. I go to Sidney Kimmel Medical College at Jefferson in Philadelphia, and I'll be here until 2023. And I went to undergrad at George Washington University. I did a post-bac program at University of Pennsylvania. I saw this question a couple times that I'm gonna answer. Is why do I wanna do medicine? Why did I do medicine? And this was an answer that I prepared down to a T. Because when you go to medical school interviews, you have to kind of answer that question. You have to answer, tell me about yourself, and you have to answer, why do you want to go to this school? Those are like the three questions you should always be prepared for. But I'll just give you kind of a more real answer, a more kind of streamlined answer. I wanted to go to med school kind of because it was always something I really wanted to do. Ever since I was a kid, I kind of thought about, oh, med school would be cool. It'd be cool to be a doctor. And I had a really good experience with my pediatrician, and I was like, this is pretty cool. This is some cool stuff. And the thing that put the nail in the coffin for me, the thing that made me, this is what I'm going to do no matter what, I'm going to go to med school, was I was a EMT for a little bit, and I had some experiences there where I could actually like do stuff with patients, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Okay, I've seen this question a few times, and some combination of, are you single? Do you have a girlfriend? Blah, 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 blah. And I am single. So here's a good question. What advice would you give to your 17-year-old self? And this question is from MXZKHN. I would pronounce that, but I think that'd come out like Muzikun. I don't think that's a real name. So what advice would I give to my 17-year-old self? I think the biggest piece of advice is just go for it. Like, just do it. No one really cares what you're doing. Everything you do at that time, I remember for me at least, I feel awkward. I feel clunky. And as you grow up, as you get kind of older, you're still gonna feel awkward, you're still gonna feel clunky, but you kind of get used to that awkward, clunky feeling, and you can kind of push through it and do stuff. And the more you push through it, the more you take action, it's gonna build and build and build, and eventually you'll be able to kind of do what you really wanna do. So 17-year-old self, I'd say, Zach, listen, chill out. No one really cares what you do, what you look like, anything like that. Just do what you wanna do. And a lot of people, again, this is just my personal opinion, but a lot of people say, focusing on schoolwork or something like that maybe isn't as important. It really depends on what you want to do. If you know for sure you want to make movies, or you want to kind of, I don't know, be like a race car driver or something like that, then you can fully commit to that. But the thing that good grades versus bad grades gets you is it's kind of like money. So if you have a lot of money, it's not going to make you happy, right? It's just that everyone knows that. It's cliche, but it's true. But if you have a lot of money, it's going to give you freedom to do things that might make you happy. The same can be said for kind of like with good grades. If you have really good grades, you're going to have a lot of options to do whatever you want. You could go to a really good college and then go to like whatever school you want to do. That could be medical school, law school, a PhD program, anything like that. But if you have lower grades, it's going to be harder to go into those programs, and you're not going to have as much freedom of choice. So to summarize my tip for a 17-year-old, I would say grades are important. Just like money, grades can grant you freedom to do things that will make you happy, and you can do more things with good grades, just like you can usually do more things and have more freedom if you have a lot of money. The second thing I would say is just go for it. Really just go for it. Whatever you're thinking about doing, whatever you're scared to do, if you're scared of doing it, it's probably a good sign that you should go do it. And of course, in the realm of reality, right? If you're scared about putting your hand inside a fire, you know, that's silly and don't do that. But if you're scared about trying out for a sports team, or if you're scared about asking someone out, or if you're scared about posting your first YouTube video, it's usually those kind of things is a good sign that you should just do it. Just do it. Sponsored by Nike. Not really. Please don't remove my video. Please. Is it dangerous to be a YouTuber? I hope not. I mean, what do you mean? Here's a question, again, repeated a couple times, but from Nicole Lerner. Have you already chosen your specialty? If yes, why? Well, I only just started my clinical rotations. I've only been in OBGYN for a couple of weeks. And I came into this thinking that what I want to do is internal medicine and then gastroenterology. I'm pretty sure, or I was pretty sure that's what I was going to do. But again, I have no real experience in clinical care. I'm only just like getting into clinical care. So I think right now that I still want to do internal medicine, but honestly, the past couple of weeks in OBGYN have been amazing. They've been really cool. They're action-packed. You get to follow patients from giving birth, which is amazing, to kind of seeing them afterwards. And then you also get to do surgeries, right? You get to do cesareans, you get to do like total hysterectomies. It's cool stuff. I don't know if this is just because it's my first true experience in clinical care, which is the reason I like it so much, or if it's actually just because I like OBGYN so much. I'm not sure. The question, how do you manage your time? I think planning is hugely important. I plan out all my meals for the week. I plan out what I'm going to study during the day. I plan out what YouTube things I'm going to do for the day. I try and wake up at the same time every day, no matter kind of when I go to bed. That's because it's sometimes harder to force yourself to go to bed early if you want to wake up early, at least it is for me. But if I always wake up at the same time, no matter how late I stay up, then eventually my body will kind of adjust and I'll start feeling tired kind of when I'm meant to feel tired. So for example, the past couple of weeks, I've had to wake up crazy early at like 4 a.m. to get into the hospital pretty early. So my body's adjusted and now I'm starting to get to sleep at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. This is a good one. All-time best and worst memory of medical school so far. I think the best memory is recently just starting rotations, walking into the hospital wearing a white coat, being able to take history and physicals on people alone, scrubbing into surgeries. It's amazing. It's what I've dreamed of doing forever and I'm finally like in it doing it. It's really cool. Worst thing about medical school so far? Honestly, the worst year of my life probably was just that application year to medical school. It's such a stressful time. You're putting so much like emphasis on it because this is what you're going to do, or this is what you want to do for your life, right? So if you kind of don't get into school, it's kind of like I felt like my life would be a failure if I didn't get into med school. So that year applying to med school, even though it's not med school, and this is kind of a cop-out answer, was definitely the worst year, most stressful year of my life probably. But to not do a cop-out answer, what was the worst thing of med school? It's good. I'm thinking about this because there's nothing really that bad about med school. I love my school. I guess the only annoying thing are strangely mandatory classes. Like we have classes that are mandatory that have nothing to do with, or seemingly nothing to do with medicine. And then we have non-mandatory classes on like the physiology of the heart or something like that. So I just don't really understand the decision between mandatory and not mandatory classes. How do you deal with negative people around you? This is a good question, especially, I don't have that many negative comments, but I have a few. I think there's two things you can do. You can either just straight up ignore them, or you can realize that these negative comments usually aren't actually a reflection of you as a person. They're a reflection of the person who's commenting them. Shravani Mandhari asks, what is the reason for you starting your YouTube channel? The reason I started it was this whole COVID thing was happening. I was trapped at home. All my classes were online, or I had no classes. So I just didn't have much to do at home. I was like, I could read, I could like work out again today, or I could do something else. So what I started to do is I started to just write up scripts for videos. I was like, if I'm really into this, I'm gonna write up 10 scripts for 10 videos. So that's what I did. I wrote up 10 scripts for 10 videos. I started a website. And then I kind of researched all the equipment to buy, and then I did it. And I was just like, I'm just gonna make 10 YouTube videos and go from there. 10 YouTube videos and go from there. And I started making them, and I was like, this is pretty fun. I like editing the videos. I'm gonna keep doing this. And kind of that's where it came from this. But again, I'm only at like 40 YouTube videos right now, so who knows? Who knows what's going on? What is your workout routine? Recently it's been kind of shitty because I've been in the hospital kind of 5 days a week and haven't had a chance. But my ideal routine, what I was kind of doing before this, is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would do full body weightlifting in the gym. Tuesday and Thursday, I would either run or do yoga. Saturday and Sunday, I would either run and do yoga. And then on Saturday, usually I'd also play soccer. So Monday, lift. Tuesday, run. Wednesday, lift. Thursday, yoga. Friday, lift. Saturday, soccer and run. Sunday, yoga. Was usually what my routine was like. A Clockwork says, I love you too. How do you stay motivated to study? Pomodoro, man. Just Pomodoro, all day. Remember, BN, Pomodoro. What's your pet peeve? People who play really loud music, like in their cars, and some people ride bikes with like a speaker hanging off their back. I just don't, why are you doing that? There's so many headphones. There's like billions of headphones. Just put on headphones. What do you think? Do you think your music taste is the best in the world? So you need to show all of us your music taste? I don't think so. How much time do you invest in each video? Like, this is the A-roll. I'm not going to do any B-roll. This is just going to be a me talking to a camera kind of video. But this is like the main footage. So the main footage for each video usually takes an hour, and that's just me talking to the camera. The preparation for that main footage usually takes about 2 to 3 hours. So that's scripting the video, researching the video, kind of editing it down so it's going to be okay to talk about. Then I film the B-roll, which usually takes another hour. Those are the weird shots of me like studying, or me like cooking, or me like getting in fights with apples and things like that. So that's about another hour. So what are we at 2 hours to script, 1 hour to film, 1 hour for B-roll, so 4 hours. And then it usually takes me about 4 to 6 hours to edit each video. So that's about, let's say 4 hours, let's be conservative. So like 8 hours right now. And then it takes me about 1 to 2 hours to like get a good thumbnail, write a good description, figure out when I'm gonna post it, make sure the ads aren't in the wrong areas of my video. So it's probably anywhere from like 10 to 12 hours per video. And the question was editing, around 4 to 6 hours it takes me to edit the video. 2 people have asked now, what organ system do you hate the most? And I'm assuming it's which do you hate to study the most. Probably the most annoying one for me to study is the reproductive system, but not just like the general reproductive system, all the congenital issues that can happen with the reproductive system. For some reason, it's really hard for it to like stick in my brain. What's on your bucket list? I'll pull out my bucket list here. I use Notion. Ooh, that's my dream journal. I want to show you guys that. Ooh. Here in my bucket list, get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can check that off. Visit some friends in Chicago. Live in Italy for 6 months. Watch Pinafore, like the opera Pinafore. Do like a huge, big nature hike in Switzerland. Go on a meditation retreat. Learn how to dance salsa. Learn to speak another language. Write a sci-fi book. Get a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Write a novel. Drive an exotic car on the Autobahn. Experience weightlessness. Elon Musk. See the northern lights in real life. Walk across hot coals. Climb a mountain. Attend the Monaco Grand Prix with my brother. One of my brothers is really into Formula One racing, so I think that'd be a cool thing to do with him. I'd like to bulldoze something or blow something up. And literally in here it says you can read it. Bulldoze something or blow something up. I want to bulldoze something. Come up with a TED Talk and like make it, even though I'll probably never give a TED Talk. I think it'd be cool to come up with one. I'd like to drink a scotch or like a whiskey that's older than me. I'd like to go motorbiking in Vietnam. I watched the Casey Neistat video about this, and a lot of people say Vietnam is just really cool and pretty and amazing to go through, so I'd love to do that. I'd like to go to Tomorrowland in Belgium. I have a bunch more, but I'm gonna stop there. This is an interesting question. Are you a bright kid from the start? I think that's a silly question to ask. And nothing against this person who said it. I'm not even going to say he said it because I don't want to call him out. But I think that's a silly question to ask, and I always think that's a silly question to ask. Sure, you're going to be born, because what's the answer to that question? What does that mean? If I say, yeah, I'm super smart, does that mean because you think you're not super smart, you're not going to do as well? If I say, yeah, I'm super dumb, does that mean you have an advantage because you think you're super smart? I think it's a silly question because there's really kind of nowhere to go from that, right? There's nowhere to go from saying, okay, this person's a genius. They're always going to be better than me. They're always going to do something better than me. There's always going to be people smarter than you, better looking than you, better at anything that you can do than you. The only thing that you can do is like be your best self. Do the best you can. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for this. This is going right on the wall. Going right on the wall. And I will see you on the next one. Did you know Albert Einstein died in 2014? What? I didn't know that. Is that true? I'm gonna Google that. Bring out the Google. Bring out the Google. Bring out the Google. No. Who sent me this? He was born... Yeah, I thought so. He was born in 1878. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.